MTG player behavior analysis. Welcome in, much love. Trav here. If you haven't seen the MTG buyer behavior video, I'll put a link somewhere on here. You should check that out. It's really interesting. This video, we want to figure out how people play Magic, where they play, who they play with, and what formats they play. First thing I'll say is this survey was conducted inside the Magic for Good group. There's also a link to that in the description. It's really fun, cool group, and certainly biased. I don't know if it's depictive of Magic players in generally, probably not. You can see I don't play Magic as an option, for instance, and nobody clicked I don't play Magic, even though the vast majority of the world doesn't play Magic, right? Similarly, do most players actually play Modern? Do more players actually play Grand Prix and Opens than at uh, playing constructed at the house? Probably not. So we have to take that into mind that this is not exactly my audience, but a lot of it is my audience. It is skewed towards people who are more active, more Uber gamers, I think. Tell me what you think about that, but that's the first thing I want to point out before we go in here is that these things feel very skewed. Okay, so how do you play Magic where and who do you play with? The most was large game store by or local game store by far. People go to their LGS to play, and then from people who responded, GPs and opens were second. Some of this is also skewed because I put on the poll options for some of these later, so some things really took off, and then I added something to the poll options, and then they started coming in later. So we have LGS, and then large tournaments, and then MTGO, and then third-party online software, and then house constructed. I mean, I would bet that more people play constructed at the house. I just don't know actually. It's possible that not many people actually do that. Like if you're gonna play Magic, you go to the LGS. You don't play at the house necessarily. I don't know. Or it's possible that people who are playing at the house are just not online posting in groups. It's interesting. I'm speculating. This is the data that we have. PTQs, GPs, and invitational qualifiers. And then house draft is way down here, like cube draft. 1 in 10 people are drafting at the house than at the LGS. Is that? I just don't know. That's what people said. At the zoo with Harambe. Shout out to Harambe. You deserve to live, bro. Um, house with friends, EDH. That could be bunched with house constructed, house draft. Play at the library. School during lunch. I used to play it at school during the lunchroom. The cool kids were doing it. Cool kids are still doing it. You're cool, bro. You're cool. In an association. Chandelar. Shout out to Chandelar. So LGS by far. Also yelling at MTG play videos and streams. No, play. What are you doing? What are you doing? Tap that. Oh, why? You missed it, bro. God, you fucked up. I stopped watching at 3:36 when he didn't block with the kitchen finks. I couldn't watch anymore. All right. How do you play Magic number two? What formats do you play? So Modern was by far the winner. Again, this is perhaps because I play Modern and then I add people to the group. People join in the group who like my Modern videos. I don't know. I actually think that that might be accurate because, well, where are people playing Modern? People playing Modern at LGS? Is that the main thing? It's got to be standard at LGS. So I would believe Modern because people who are not like keeping up with the IQs and the PTQs and so on, or are not just like brand new, have enough cards that they would rather play Modern. Not necessarily competitive Modern, but you just have collected. You just don't want to be restricted to the last year and a half. You have cards and you want to play with them. So it wouldn't surprise me if Eternal is actually more popular than Standard, even though Standard gets the Pro Tours and stuff like that. Obviously, Wizards is going to push Standard because they only sell cards to distributors and stores and so on. They have zero anything investment or they're not making money off the secondary market. So Wizards is always going to promote the most recent sets for standard, even if that's not necessarily what people are actually playing. So that's interesting. A lot of people are booster drafting, and then we have a lot of EDH. EDH is very popular. I should play, well, I just don't play, I don't keep decks, and it's not a very good online format. I tried it. Sealed deck, a lot of people play Legacy. Pauper has a good following. Cube Draft. Yelling at MTG play videos and streams again. Attack! Why didn't you you missed lethal! You missed lethal! Two-headed giant. I put that on there later, and it's doing all right. Tiny Leaders has a few players, not enough that I would want to really get involved. Mental Magic, super fun. Vintage, 60 card Highlander. Oh, Tiny Leaders is on here too. Flip It and Rip It. Nope, nobody knows what DC-10 is besides me. Big stack. So you just have a stack of sexy ass rares, and you flip one card at a time playing. It used to be called DC-10. I don't know what else you would call it, but super fun. So what do we do with this information? Well, I mean, the next thing is see how people responded from one to the other. Like, if people are playing modern, how are they playing? I don't have that information. We go through and look at the responders and try to correlate across. Like, people who are playing modern are playing at IQs and constructed and stuff like that. We don't have that information, or we could, but it's a pain in the ass to get, right? People who are playing booster draft might all be doing it at the LGS. Probably, right? It doesn't seem to be house draft. So, this information is useful. It's semi-useful. For information, I mean, what I would do with it is it tells me how to uh, structure my content. You know, what formats are popular, what formats are most popular, and how people play. It's just good to know when you're really into something exactly what people are doing. And why they're doing it. So I don't have any big, crazy, ooh, this means that, and this, and this, and Illuminati, and therefore, bam, mind blown. I don't have any of that. If you do, leave it in the comments. I just find this information useful. I'm still kind of mulling it over, and this video is meant to spark a discussion, share the information and spark a discussion, and hopefully we draw some cool conclusions from it below. So I'm excited to see what you add to the convo. And again, there's going to be a link. You should have check out the MTG buyer behavior video, which is really interesting as well. So hope you find that useful. Thank you for watching. Much love. See you in the comments.